Hi, all, and welcome to Monday night's All Meta Mode podcast with Gypsy and myself, Amanda Digger DeGaz. We also have special guest Laurie Gagne of Relic Dirtyhands. So tonight should be a really great show. And before we get started, just a couple reminders. DirtDigestMagazine.com has March issues available, so definitely go to DirtDigestMagazine.com to check out this monthly virtual magazine that's treasure hunting, metal detecting, has interviews and other wonderful stories, submissions from listeners and people that follow along as well. So definitely go over and give it a look. Next up, we have allmetalmode.com. Mike Hare has a new article out about learn how to get deeper with your metal detector. Go to allmetalmode.com. It's a great little article. He talks about sensitivity of your machine and how to go about setting it to really get the most of your machine and your coil. All right, that's all I have for reminders. So, hey, Gypsy, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Good,
It's
good.
gorgeous weather here today in Texas. It's starting to heat up. It was 84 degrees here today.
It was real feel of 1 degree here today.
Oh,
One. So,
wow.
so you go
That's
ahead,
crazy.
send up some of that warm weather, will you?
uh, I will try. I will try.
So, have you gotten
Yeah,
out lately?
I did a couple times this past week. One time I got out and all I found was some trash and a key. Um, the next time was today for just a very, very short while. And I got like the front of the pocket watch, and it has a train on it and a little bit of gold gilding. I sent you a photo right before we got on here so you
Yes.
could at least see. It looks like it's in pretty bad shape, but that was about all I found. I wasn't out there very long. I was with my friend Zola, and she, it was it was so ridiculously trashy. There was modern beer cans and Coke cans and you name it out there. It was insane. I probably dug 50 cans just to get them out of the way.
Well, the next time you get out there, it should be a little bit better then.
Yeah. I told her, I said, what we need to do is come out there with a group and just let everybody dig. And then after the first hour, we should have a lot of the trash, taking out the trash. We'd probably have a lot of the modern trash out of the way. And it dates back to the 1800s, 1878, I think. So potential is there. It's just, you never know. I mean, the pocket watch thing was a nice surprise with the train on it. It's right near a train station. I mean, not a train station, a train railroad track. So who knows?
That's cool, though. So, yeah, big group, clean it up, and who knows what you'll find.
Yeah. And how about you?
Yes, I did. I've gotten out quite a few times. I didn't end up getting the metal detector out. I did go mudlarking, though. Um, Ended up going to a spot I haven't been to since last year. And the place that I found the spoon ring and the gold ring and a bunch of other rings, I went back there on, I think it was Friday, and I found another spoon ring, except this one is silver. So pretty excited by that.
That
And
was
then,
so cool.
yeah,
I was watching your TikTok video, and I was like, Oh, she must be posting some of her old videos. And then when I ask you, you're like, no, I couldn't believe it. I went back there and got another spoon ring, but this time it was silver. So I thought that was really amazing. So
yeah, it was a weekend of like repeats. So between the spoon ring and then I got to the same place that I found the spoon ring is where I had found the submariners pins, like the submarines.
oh,
And
yeah?
I went to another place this weekend and I found another one of those submariner pins. Totally different state,
Really?
different town. Yep. So that was pretty exciting too. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got another one of these.
So does it look the same, or is it in better shape, or
It's in our
or
it's in strange shape. It's like curved. But it's in about the same type of shape because it was definitely found, in the water, muck area. So yeah, but I was very excited. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, I found a bunch of more clay pipe stems and lead bale seals, and I did find another piece of lead printing plate, so that was pretty exciting. And
I was
yeah.
I was showing my friend Cinder your TikTok videos yesterday. 'Cause she was sitting there drooling over, like, I showed her the ring first, and I think you dug a KG, and what else? There was the buckle, shoe buckle.
Oh, yep.
That was beautiful. Nice green patina on that. Oh, yeah, she was drooling. She goes, where does she live?
I'm fortunate to live where I do, that's for sure. All right, well.
Except when the ground is frozen.
Yes. Right now it is
right.
still definitely frozen.
Speaking of frozen, I know that our special guest tonight lives a little north, and I'm curious what the weather's like there. So let's go ahead and bring her in. You want to introduce her?
Sure. Everyone, give a warm welcome to Laurie Gagne from Relic Dirtyhands.
Hi, everyone. It is very cold here. Very, very cold. We still have a lot of snow and just absolutely dying to get out detecting again. It's been since probably December, I think, the last time I've been out. So,
oh boy, but you've got cabin fever bad. Like Amanda, at least she's gotten out a few times in between, and the ground might have been too frozen, so she did a little mudlarking, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I'm like about to dig in my plant soon, so I'm like, I'm that desperate to smell the dirt again. It's just, yeah, by the time we get to this time of year, especially when we start to see it melt and we see everyone else starting to get out, it really just, you can feel it under your skin. You want to get out so bad. Yeah, but the good thing about winters, though, it gives us time to research and find new locations and stuff like that. So we do use up our downtime.
Right. Well, Laurie, do you mind telling our guest tonight where you live and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I live out in Quebec, Canada. So, yeah, what is exactly what else is there? Sorry. I live out in Quebec, Canada, and a little bit about me. I've been metal detecting since about 2009. And I have a wonderful family, and we often detect together, and it's been a great time. And yeah.
How did you How did you get into metal detecting?
Oh wow! Well, the first time I saw a metal detector was in my dad's basement, and I kind of said, "What is this?" And he found it at a garage sale, and so I got some batteries. I was pretty excited. I was about 17, and I was really excited. Got the batteries in there. Went off to the park, and I there were just knobs on them. We didn't even have the internet back then. So it wasn't like I could go onto Google, how does this thing work?
Yeah.
So I just cranked everything to its maximum, just thinking maximum is the best, right? And I found absolutely nothing. I gave it back to him, and I just like, here you go, and went off along with my life. And then, back in 2009, Eric was working with this guy, and he was like talking to him about metal detecting. He said, hey, come and take a look. I have some of the stuff in the truck or whatever, and it's the back of the pickup truck, your typical full of scrap, from detecting and that sort of stuff. And he came home, and he was just like, wow, this is so cool. And I was pretty excited about it again. I'm like, hey, maybe we can give this another try. So I went on to a local place and looked everywhere for a detector. There wasn't one single place I could walk into a store and buy a metal detector. So I did a bit of research, and I found a Garrett. It was a Garrett 550. Oh my gosh, what is it? GTX? Is that possible?
Yeah,
a Garrett 550 GTX.
Yeah.
I think it's GTX. I know it has an X.
GTX.
Yeah, and it's so we had gotten that one. Well, it was really funny because Eric wasn't even awake yet, and I wake him up with a coffee, and I'm like, honey, I found one. We're going to go meet this guy in a parking lot and give him like $350, and he's going to give us a metal detector. So that's kind of how I got that into it. And sure enough, this is the month of October, right? And this is Canada, so month of October is really cold. We hit freezing sometimes in October, and I decided to go to the beach with Eric. Eric wasn't too fond about me finding bottle caps and pull tabs, and I was like, "It's gold! It says it's gold! It's gold!" Right? And every single one was a bottle cap and pull tab. His nose is running, and he says, "I'm just going to wait for you in the car," And I'm like, "Darn it! I thought he was interested," So off he went, and then throughout the winter, we joined a metal detecting forum and stuff, and in the spring, I decided to go visit my grandfather. He had a really old farm. I didn't know it was an old farm, really. I didn't even know the age. We didn't think of these things. And, I just asked him, can I do the side of your yard? And he's like, sure. And I find a large scent. And I am freaking out because I have no clue what this is. I'm calling Eric at work, all excited. He gets the guy on the phone. He's like, congratulations, you found your first large scent. Well, Eric saw that large scent, and he's like, let's go back. So he got the pics right away. We pretty much had to share the machine, and it's like back and forth. And we just shared the machine and found some large scents, and we were totally hooked on it. And that's how it pretty much got started. That's how we got started.
That's neat. It sounds like you got him into it. So that is really cool.
Kind of. It's like 50-50 though, because he did come home because somebody talked to him about it, and he revived that treasure hunter in me, and I did take the initiative and
yeah, it sounds like he was interested, but when you started digging all that trash on the beach, he's like, I forget it.
It was so cold, and I don't think it wasn't I don't know, it wasn't as interesting as he thought it would be, because there's a lot of garbage and not many coins or gold, right? So, but as soon as I found that large scent, it just opened his eyes to, wow, we can find this stuff, and I think that was it. Yeah. After that, I don't know, it was fighting over the detector. My turn. It was really great. We actually shared this metal detector for, we shared a metal detector for 7 years, actually.
Wow.
So
how did you manage that?
Well, we had the kids, so we had our young kids with us, and we basically took up metal detecting to take them out for walks, and they just loved the forest, and they would play with bugs and find salamanders and all sorts of stuff while we just took turns metal detecting. So they were really young, like one was 1.5 years and the other one was 3. So we all know kids at that age, right? You always have to keep your eyes on them and keep them busy and entertained. So while Eric was building a lean-to in the forest or a shelter with them, I was detecting. We'd take turns, and I would show them the medicinal and edible plants and stuff that we would find. And we did all sorts of stuff, and that's how we shared it for about 7 years. But we did go and purchase another detector afterwards. And we had gotten the MXT Pro, And that was about a year, I would say probably a year and a half afterwards, thinking we both get a machine. But we both really like the MXT Pro. So we continued to share the metal detector again. So again, we went out the same way and we shared it. And as the kids got a little more independent and, this sort of stuff, and it was hard sharing the detector sometimes because it was always one of us, but sometimes it was just sitting there with the kids and then looking over, what did you find? What did you find? So that's when I decided to get the MX Sport, the white MX Sport. So we went with that, and then I had the MX Sport, and Eric had the MXT Pro, and I used that for about 2 years. I didn't feel that it was suited for me, and then they came out with the Equinox, so I got the Equinox at that point, and it's been 3 years, and I don't see anything else in my hand for a long time, I think. I finally found, after going through so many machines and, just learning a lot of the different machines, and I've tried some of my friends' machines and stuff like that. So when it's been so long that you've been changing them, when you finally get one where you're comfortable, it's like, I find it's going to be hard for me to try anything else just because it's been so long and I'm so fluent and I feel just so comfortable with this machine now. So, but that's, I guess that kind of answers the question on what detectors I use.
That's awesome. Well, once you get used to one machine, it's hard to change. Even when newer technology comes out, it's hard to change sometimes. So
it is.
Because you're so comfortable with that machine and you know all the nuances of that machine. And so...
And then as soon as you get another one, it's very overwhelming. I find it pretty overwhelming to learn a new machine, all the new sounds, all the new target IDs, and all this sort of stuff. So it takes time. So I'm kind of happy that I'm comfortable with this one right now. And, I plan to use it for a little longer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us about maybe one of your favorite finds. We know one of your first finds was the large scent. So tell us about maybe one of your favorite finds.
Oh, well, my favorite find basically comes in two because it happened the very same day. And this was actually last January. Usually we don't get out metal detecting in January, but they had dropped the water of the St. Lawrence Seaway, and it exposed some of the drowned villages. So our friend Matt said, hey, we have an opportunity, and we're such opportunist diggers. Of course we said yes. And it was freezing cold. I mean, we had snow and ice, and I had to, you cut the plug in the sand, right? And it's like this whole cap that comes up, like this whole piece of ice cap, And this day I had found my best and rarest coin that I've ever found, and I also found a really unique military shackle plate that led me into this whole research. And I mean, it took me so many days to try to research this piece. It was kind of crazy. At first I thought maybe it came from a piano or something, but no. But the coin that I found, I never even knew it existed. It was called a Vexador Canadiensis. And it's a token that they had made. You could say almost like a counterfeit or a blacksmith token. And it was to actually mock the unpopular Upper Canada mayor. I think it was the mayor at the time. And basically, when you translate it, it was written in Latin. And the way it was written was, it could be Vexador or Venator. So the difference between these two words is Vexador basically means, Venator means Trapper of Canada. And, it was right there on the tip of my head. Anyways, it was basically, so it was kind of like a counterfeit token, extremely rare. It has one of the most unique stories of all of our coins. I never even knew this thing existed. And we were all looking at this coin, trying to make it out and trying to figure it out, and we couldn't. And then Chris Dale had ID'd it for me. What's that? Tormentor. Thank you. Eric's listening. And Vexador means tormentor. So when you translate it, it meant
Wow.
either tormentor of Canada or trapper of Canada. Now down here we had a lot of the fur trade. So they claimed if they were to get caught, if they got caught with these coins, they would say, no, they're for trade with the natives. So they weren't, but they were actually using them as money. And so that's kind of like the story of the coin, which was really, really unique.
Wow.
My favorite coin, never even knew it existed. And after looking at this, I'm like, wow, you know. So that was actually right on the surface as well. I passed my coil, I got a signal, I looked down, and I was like, oh, what is that? And it was just, you know, the disc, and I literally like had to pop it off the ground because it was frozen to the ground because you had to think all the water dropped, so it exposed a lot of the stuff. And so that one was right there. And probably about half an hour later is when I found my shackle plate, and I was actually being really, really lazy. It was really cold, frozen. So I swung over it, and I'm like, ugh, it didn't sound that great. It was really up on edge, and so I had Matt come over. Matt, listen to this. And he listens with it. It's a CTX, and he's like, I'm getting something. You know, it could be something. So I end up pulling it out, and it was a shackle plate, and it says, Christiana said, Burger Company. Now, I had to research, and it actually comes from the St. Croix Virgin Islands before the U.S. purchased it. It was actually during the slave trade, right after the slave trade was abolished.
Wow.
Now, and I had a hard time because they had the uniforms. They have a lot of information online on the uniforms. I just couldn't match it. I couldn't match it. So I sent it to, actually I found one online, and it was actually with a historical society, and they had very little information on it, so they didn't help me too much. I sent a picture to the Denmark Museum, and then they replied and saying, yes, this does look like it, but we would need to look at it ourselves to confirm that it's not a counterfeit or it's a real thing, and just to make sure. And but they weren't actually able to tell me exactly. But throughout my research, there was a gap in the uniforms, and it was just a short period where they had this uniform for about 3 years. And I do believe it's the shackle plate from that one, because on the previous years and the years right after, there was so many little differences. So we're looking at about 1820s, about 1820s. So it was really neat. I mean, I didn't even know about St. Croix and all this sort of stuff. Like I said, the research just led me all over the place, and all of a sudden I'm researching all about the slave trade, and it was just gives me shivers, absolute shivers. And it's those two finds in the same day, and they pretty much beat out all of my finds I've found in the past 12 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. So those were...
Those are definitely some incredible finds, and I think I've seen photos of those when you found them in the video or something on that, and all the research you were doing. And isn't it amazing how just one or two, one find can take you on such a journey, and you can learn so much about the past. It's just mind-boggling.
I absolutely loved it. But it was, days and days and days of research and archives, and I absolutely love it. And I think that's a big part of this hobby that I love a lot as well is what is it, and trying to figure out what it is and the story behind it. And even sometimes, how did it get there? Like, I still have no idea how it got there. It must have been somebody who settled here. That's the only thing I can think of, because we did have the War of 1812, but they weren't a part of that. They weren't a part of it, so I wasn't able to really connect it to anybody. And it would have been nice if I could connect it to somebody who settled here or something like that. But unfortunately, that's where I'm at now. So maybe someday there might be a connection, but for now, I can't find it. I don't know how it got here. It's still history.
Now, that badge is in the advertisement photo, correct? That's the one on the left?
Yes.
All right.
That's correct. And the 1765 is pretty much when that military was established, or the company. They called it a company. And that's when they were established, was in 1764. And this was kind of the only where I could actually find where that date came from, because the plate itself dates from later, but that's when they established the company. So very close. That's why I'm thinking that date is in relation to.
Now that water, was it part of the drought, or was it actually, you said that the town lowered it?
Yeah, it's all controlled by hydro dams.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the St. Lawrence Seaway, they have like a lot of big ships and everything that come through and everything else, but sometimes they'll regulate the water. And I guess because of the flooding that we had the previous year, they had really dropped the water to record, like we've never seen it that low. And all of a sudden you see these foundations and everything appearing, but some places it's really soft and mucky and really scary because it's like total quicksand. Sometimes you don't know if one step you're going to go to your ankle or if you're going to go higher. So it's a really intense place, pretty intense, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
It's incredible. Yeah, Amanda and I've talked many a times about areas like that we've detected in where you're scared with every step because you can sink down in the muck, and then the next thing you know, your boot is still in there and you try to lift it.
Like Matt had to help Eric out because he had gone out a little too much and he was totally stuck. And I'm there on the shore and I'm kind of laughing at him because the whole time I'm walking where the rocks are. I'm like, yeah, that looks really nice over there, but like, I was too much of a chicken, and all of a sudden I see Matt having to go and pull Eric, and you could see him, and he's stuck, and he's trying, and it was really tough to get out. But yeah, so that's why I like hunting close enough to them as well. When we're out there, there's usually quite a few of us or whatever, and we can always kind of see each other, and that always makes me feel a little more comfortable as well, because yeah, you can get stuck. No one's gotten hurt. No one's really gotten into really bad quicksand there yet. I haven't seen anyone, but knowing the sand and clay, and it really does feel pretty unstable. So I wouldn't take a chance and see how far, because we've dug too for doing bottle digging. So you see, like, it is just that muck all the way down for a few feet, and it's it stinks too.
Wow.
It stinks so bad.
It's so
awesome,
bad.
though.
Horrible.
Oh,
Does it turn like to a black, oily sludge for you?
Yeah. You got it. Yeah, that decomp smell. It's just so wonderful.
It stains everything too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. You should have seen the kids' ones. They were just full of it. It was awful. It was like, okay, sure, guys, as soon as we got home. It was, they just loved playing in that stuff. The kids just adored it. Like, you could tell they're part of my family with dirty hands. The dirtier, the better it was for my kids. Seriously, the dirtier, the better. I was like, oh.
We do have a question in chat from Bill, Ohio Relic Hunter. He wondered if you have any plans on bringing back Relic News.
Oh, I love Relic News, and I miss it so much. I miss everybody so much. I do have it in my heart to kind of do a then and now kind of series of it, possibly in the future. But I hate to make these kind of promises. It just really depends. Like now I'm so busy, and it's hard enough for me to release my regular videos at the moment. But I do want to get back into it because I just missed everybody so much, and it would be a lot of fun to do a then and now and how things have changed, because I think I did that back in 2015, 16. So I think it was probably 2015, 16, 17. So it's been quite some time since, I'm talking to some of these people. So it'd be kind of really fun to do that, or maybe again someday. I mean, it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it, and I do miss it.
Perfect. Times do get busy, don't they? Just seems everything flies by.
It's so fast, and so fast. I just sit there going, I want 48 hours and 12. If you could give me that many in a span of 12 hours, I'd be happy. is to somehow get me more time. Yeah.
I saw you.
I don't know how I got busier and busier. Sorry.
I saw that in the last few videos, you finally got something you were hoping to get this year. Can you talk about that a little bit, and then what else you might be hoping to find this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this sounds, I mean, it's pretty odd, right? Because a lot of people will look at that and go, what? But it meant a lot to me. And the reason why is when we first started metal detecting, a friend of ours brought all their coins, and they actually live really kind of close to the U.S.-Canada border. So they find a lot of American coins. And I remember looking through his coins, and I saw this coolest coin that had these wings on its head, And I was like, what is that? And I just fell in love with that design of coin. I just thought it was a really, really nice-looking coin. So, the Mercury Dime. And I've seen friends and I've seen other people pull them out and stuff. And, and I couldn't find one. And like I said, it took me 11 years, I guess, to find one. And the oddest thing, too, is that Eric never found one. So both of us have never found a Mercury Dime. So you could say we searched for 22 years together. And it's just something that always eluded us. But Eric had found one during the summer at a park. And I was just like, no, he did it before me. Because we always have like these little kind of competitions between us. So he ended up finding one. And next thing you know, it's just a few months later, I was out on a farm field. And I pulled out a Mercury Dime. And when I pulled it out, I was just like shocked. Like, am I really seeing this? Just because it's been so long since I wanted one. And it was really exciting. So yes, it was a Mercury Dime that I was so excited to find. And there's quite a few things that, I'd still love to find. I've seen people around me finding Spanish silver. That's another one I haven't found. The obvious gold coin. I do want to find a trime because I just find them so cute. So cute. They're so little. And we have, I know, and we have our little fish scales, the little 5-cent pieces, which are really tiny too, but those trimes are even smaller. So just because, that's another one I'd love to find is a trime. But I probably have this huge long list of stuff I don't even know that exists that I really want to find. But yeah, for coins, that's I guess Spanish is my big one. I think is a Spanish silver. That's a big one for me because Eric's found a few. Kick his butt for it. It's my turn. Hopefully this year, we'll see. Hopefully.
Well, yeah, the Mercury Dime is such a pretty coin, and I'm so excited that you finally found one. It really is. It never gets tired digging one.
Oh, they're beautiful. I absolutely think they're gorgeous, and they seem to be very rare here in Canada as well, because when I found mine, there's a lot of detectors that have been detecting as long as me or longer, and they're all telling me, too, I haven't found one yet. And I do believe, especially the coins that date around the 1930s for us, I guess that's during the war as well. So, these coins don't come up often. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. The reason why they just seem so rare here for us down here on our side. Anyway, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that find them, but I don't know. A lot of Canadians, they've been telling me that they haven't found one either. So it made me feel a little better that it took you so long.
Right.
Yeah, you start.
Right. Well, tell us, so we kind of got an idea of, your bucket list, kind of some special items that you want to find. Tell us about, have you ever encountered anything weird or strange find, anything like that?
Oh, strange. I was scared a few times. I've been, there's a few times I got the shakes a little. I guess just a weird person once, when you're bending down and we decided that we were going to go for a night hunt. My oldest was watching our kids and he's, go ahead out. So we rushed down to park with our headlamps on, and we were detecting. But I was squatted down, and all of a sudden I hear like this really weird, deep kind of voice, And I look up, and it's somebody with like this black cape, like hovering over me. And that kind of really freaked me out. And then they started talking about how they're looking after all the animals in the park, and only to find out after that they were talking about all the dead animals that were in the park. So that was a little scary, a little creepy. Yeah, they said the police keep coming and taking away her animals, and she's looking after them. And so that was kind of creepy. And I did get really scared once with the kids because we were out detecting out in the woods near these mines. And, I had seen my son looks down and he says, "Oh, what is that?" And obviously it was a big pile of, and I look at it, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that looks like bear." I'm like, "We better walk the other way." So, I said, "Eric, come on, let's go down this way. Let's, I'm seeing some bear scat over here. So let's go." So we start walking, and all of a sudden our path becomes super, super narrow, and Eric is there with a shovel, and he's banging it on all the rocks, and we're talking loud. I mean, we've done a lot of camping. We're used to being out in the woods, and our black bears are usually not aggressive, not that aggressive anyway. This was, I guess, spring, and I don't know if she had cubs or with her, but all of a sudden we started hearing this huffing and puffing in the woods, and it's really dense woods, and we're in a kind of really narrow path. And Eric and I both stop, and we both look at each other because it sounded pretty close, and we kind of look, and I'm like, "Is that a horse?" And he looks at me, and he's like, "I don't know." And then we hear it again, and I'm like, "Well, it's impossible there's any horses. There's no farms. Like, this is like the woods, And I'm like, yeah. And then, all of a sudden we're like, bear, and the kids were really little, and Maddie's there, and he's picking all this stuff that's stuck to him, these little burrs and stuff. And I'm like, "Come on, honey, we're going to go back to the car. Let's go," try not to be a good mom and not to scare the crap out of my kids.
Right.
And then, and Maddie wouldn't move. He was just like, "Wait, I got all this stuff stuck to me." And then Eric just yells at him, "There's a bear." What? So the kids are like between us, Eric and I, and Eric's walking backwards, with a big, predator shovel in his hands, and, and we can hear him huffing and puffing like beside us and following us through in the bush. So we made it back to the car, and we sat there, and we laughed, and I was laughing hysterically, like, "Oh my God," And then we got home, and later that evening I cried. And I cried, and I cried. I was like, "Oh my God, what did we do?" My young children were with us. And since then, we have bear bells with us, and bear spray. I have to renew that again, and this sort of stuff afterwards. But yeah, I think that would be the scariest, weirdest. I don't think I've had any really weird stuff happening except Eric coming metal detecting in his socks and sandals. That was kind of weird because he forgot his shoes. He was that excited that he forgot his shoes, right? So he's going to kick my butt for sharing some of this. But I guess for weird-wise, I think that's, just maybe a weird person and kind of scary bear experience.
Wow. That bear experience is crazy.
That was an awakening. It kind of woke us up, and we realized, well, if we're going to be venturing off that far with our children, I think we should be better prepared for it, which we weren't expecting. I mean, I wasn't expecting bears, but these are abandoned mines, and they are abandoned mines and stuff like this. So it's very possible this is where they were getting ready to hibernate or close to, or had cubs with them or something, because they usually don't react that way, but they did this time. Felt like we were kind of lucky, but no.
Wow. So no strange finds, though, just strange happenings.
I want to find something strange. I want to find something weird and strange. I mean, the weirdest thing is like a clump of something I can't ID. I've never found any like teeth. I've heard people finding find animal teeth, but some people that find those cats and stuff, or weird stuff like that. But I honestly, I guess the weirdest thing was when I was in a bottle dump, and no, I didn't even find that. It was Andre found an eyeball a glass eyeball from a doll, which was pretty creepy.
Wow, that is creepy.
So it was so tiny, and he actually found two. I could not believe it. I mean, what are the chances, And he actually found two. One was the full round one, almost like a marble-like, a very, very delicate glass, made from glass, and the other one was like a half, just the shape, like the top part of an eye. It was really, those were kind of cool. But I want to find something weird. I really do. I want to go out in the woods and find something weird. I do. I've seen so many people finding creepy doll heads, and it's like I find creepy, broken doll heads, but no creepy doll heads, and stuff like that. But it's something I want. It's weird, but creepy stuff.
So, what about, you mentioned bottle digging or dump digging. Amanda and I do a lot of that, and a lot of our listeners as well. You have a favorite find from one of your dump digs?
Oh, wow. We found so many nice bottles. I don't know. I love them all. I love the colored glass. I love all these old bottles. I even got Eric to build me this window shelf to put all these bottles in and stuff like that. There is one thing that I did find, but it was during metal detecting, but it was in my plug that I would say is my favorite non-metal item that I found, and that was my clay pipe. It's a clay pipe with a face on it. So it has the full face carved, which is really, really neat.
I want to find a clay pipe so bad. Amanda lives up there in Maine, so she finds pieces of clay pipe a lot, like pipe stem, and you found a whole pipe before too, right?
Yeah, but hers with the actual face on it is pretty amazing. If you all didn't see it, it was in the advertisement that we made up for her, and it's in the second picture on the bottom, and the face is just. It's awesome.
It was so neat.
I didn't zoom in. I need to zoom in.
I put my hand in the plug, and I just grab a clump of dirt, and I turn it over, and I look, and it's like this face looking at me, and I was like, what is it? And it was just really, really neat. And did you actually find the full pipe, like without the stem being broken, or have you found any of those?
Nope, I haven't. They've all been like an inch or two. And then the rest of the stem is gone. I can't seem to find one with the full intact stem.
I would love. That's like I guess you could say that's one of my bucket listers is to find one at least with a long enough stem. I was even thinking of grabbing a bunch of my stems because I have like a bowl full of stems as well. And I'm like, maybe I can fit them all together and try to piece one to make it look like a full one. No, I don't. I'm like, that does for him. You put them together.
No. So then that should be asked. So if you could go, and I know this is a little early for this question, but it kind of works. If you could go detect anywhere in the world, where would you want to go detect?
Oh wow! Everywhere, every single place I can go, I want to go. I'm even thinking, Australia is one place I would love to try to do some gold prospecting and detecting. And Eric always reminded me, like, oh yeah, don't they have the, poisonous snakes and bugs and stuff? And I'm like, right. I'll just put on I love those boots, snake boots. I want a pair. I just don't have a reason for them here, but I think you have a pair, don't you, Gypsy? Yeah, I saw them. I was like, I love her boots. I want those.
You got to come to Texas, and you'll definitely need a pair.
But I think I'd love to experience metal detecting in different cultures and different times of history. And, I don't really have a preference. I'd love to go further up in Quebec to my great-great-great-great-grandfather's home. But I'd love to go everywhere and anywhere I possibly can because everywhere is an adventure, and I feel like just so energized when I'm out there. And if I could, I'd metal detect the whole world. I know I don't have enough time for that. Probably not enough time or resources for that. But.
I'm with you there. That's all I want to do is just travel. I wish I had an unlimited source of time and money to go just do that.
It'd be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun.
But it's hard. It is hard with kids, though, isn't it? It's so hard.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. So with the kids, I mean, they followed us everywhere, and we just brought them everywhere, and they've been to different events with us, and they absolutely love it. But now they're in their teens, and yeah, they want to hang out with friends and stuff like this. And sometimes we can convince them to come with us if it's somewhere really unique or interesting. They'll be like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Yes, I do miss them. Like I miss them. We've done this our whole lives together, so it's very." It's kind of different not having them with us at times. So this is kind of a transitional period too. So we see less of them in my videos now because they have their social lives and, and their friends. But I still get them out with us once in a while. I still get them out there. Hopefully they'll come back, and if not, hopefully someday they'll want, hey, let's go metal detecting. And we'll be like, yeah. I remember the kids. I mean, even my son found a bottle dump behind his friend's house and came home and got all the equipment and, everything to go and dig with his friends and, that sort of stuff. And the neighborhood friends, they all know the detectors, and sometimes they come and say, can we borrow your detector? And they'll go out in our yard and they'll metal detect our yard and stuff like that. So it's fun.
Yeah, I remember watching many of your videos with the kids, out there with y'all. Now, do any of them ever want to swing the detector for a while?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They, both of them. I know Maddie, when we were on an area with military, he swung beside me the whole entire field, the whole day, nonstop. And, he absolutely loved that, and they love metal detecting events and seated hunts. They really, really enjoy that. Jazz, actually, just in the last video, it was really cold, and I didn't get much because we didn't detect all that much, but she used the Vanquish, and she pulled herself a little 22 bullet with it. And so, yeah, they do swing the detectors. They do once in a while, but we've never been ones to force them. It's basically, do you want to bring your detector? They're like, yes, we bring it. You want to take it out? Yes. Do you want to swing? No, that's okay. They want to run the field, pick up corn or bugs or, whatever it was, whatever they enjoy doing. So, we've never been, no, you got to detect with us or, never like that. And whenever they had an interest, we're like, yay, and super excited, It's like, yay, they want to detect. So, yeah, that's pretty much how it's been over the years. And never know, maybe later they'll pick it up again, or maybe not. We don't know. They're little treasure hunters, though. They definitely are treasure hunters at heart. They're always looking for stuff, and so who knows?
Yeah. Both of mine only did for just a very short while, and then my oldest one, though, he'll still occasionally go with me on some of my adventures. He doesn't want to metal detect, but he's always finding stuff. And he'll, hey, Mom, look what I found. Like, goodness, you do better with a metal detector than I do with mine.
That's what. Yeah, like the kids, they're always finding stuff. They're always finding stuff and bringing it home. And I'm like, what's this? Oh, I found that. I'm like, okay. Like Jaws, I think she even found gold cufflinks at a garage sale. And it was at the end of the garage sale. And they had everything on the table. And they're saying, everything free. So the kids went there, and she comes home with, 10-karat gold cufflinks. And I'm like, what? I was like, wow, girl, you are a treasure hunter.
She knows how to, treasure hunt for sure. Yeah, there's so many different forms of treasure hunting, too. So garage selling and thrifting and all that is amazing.
Oh, that too, thrifting. I absolutely love that, doing that with the kids and everything. And oh, yes, and Maddie. Oh, yeah, Eric just came in to remind me. And even Maddie, he wasn't detecting, and we decided just to go exploring and walking. And he's there, and he goes, what's this, Mom? And he shows me, and I look down, and all I could see is a snake buckle, the S buckle, the snake. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, where did you find that? And he's like right there, and I'm freaking out, and I'm like, Ariel, oh my God. And Maddie's looking at me like, what did I just find? Like super innocent. And I was just blown away because that was on my bucket list, since I've actually seen people dig some of those. And it was one thing on my bucket list. But he just found it right there on the surface. Here, Mom, what's that? Like, what? That was pretty wild. Yeah, it was really, it was great. They're treasure hunters, definitely treasure hunters.
That is awesome. So I know that we caught a glimpse of you at Pound the Ground, not last year, but the year before. Hard to believe it's been that long ago. Are you planning on hitting any hunts this year? Hopefully things are going to be settled down with the vaccine coming out and all that by fall. Are you planning on hitting any hunts?
If the border opens up, and if we start allowed to do gatherings and events, absolutely. I love events. Absolutely love them. I love meeting people. I was so happy to meet you. I was just like, hey, we were actually the same height too. It was like, the first thing I noticed, hey, yeah. But, it's events like that and the social aspect of meeting people, especially the people that you've watched their videos and you've seen them on social media and all this sort of stuff. And then, to see, hey, they're a real person. They're right in front of me. This is kind of cool, I absolutely love events. They're so exciting, and the people are just so wonderful, and I just find they always go too fast, and you never have enough time. I just feel like taking everybody and, let's dinner and let's eat and let's, talk, but there's never enough time at an event, I find, to really spend the time that you'd like with everyone. Everything goes so fast, and it's one person pulling you away and another person, and it's time to go. And so, but I had so much fun 2 years ago when we were in Chazzy, New York. We just had, I think it's such a memorable time, and I'll never forget it. And I definitely want to go back to the next one or to another one as soon as everything opens up. I love them. Absolutely love them.
Definitely. Well, hopefully things will open up by then, and you'll be able to go. And I know Amanda and I are already discussing trying to get to go. Hopefully things will settle down, and it would be wonderful. Yeah. So
I miss everyone. It's been a year, over a year. I mean, that was my last event when we went to Chazzy, New York. I haven't been to any events since. So it's been really difficult. I'm used to going to Toronto a few times a year. No, not at all. I haven't been able to see them. And it's like I miss everyone so much.
Right.
I really do. But hopefully it'll be different and everything will open up, and I miss everybody's smiling faces too.
Yeah.
Like
I was surprised I even caught you. You were walking by, and I just happened to see you. Like you were walking by so fast. And I think that was our only encounter out there. Poor Amanda and I got to go out and dig together once for just a little while out in one of the fields, and I was sick as can be that day. It was terrible. So you get to see me sick.
Was that on the second day? Was that day 2 or day? I think it was day 2.
Day 2.
Do you remember, Amanda?
Yeah, it was day 2.
It was day 2.
Day 2, I think, was pretty much. Ugh.
Yeah.
Day 2 was a hard one for a lot of people.
It was. I got so sick that trip, and I laid down in the field when Amanda and I were out there.
Oh no!
Actually, that you laying down in the field was day 1.
That was day 1, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then the second day was the windy day that about blew us. That didn't help me at all, feeling the way I did. But
it's so cold day 2, and everything was so quiet. The fields were really quiet, after, and day 2 it was tough. It was cold, But that's the day I pretty much took. The afternoon, I hunted until about noonish, and then I kind of I stayed around and went to different people and got to finally spend some time talking to people and stuff. And that's what I did on day 2 and the second half. And because it's just really cold out there, and it was, I had so many layers. I just remember so many jackets, and I was so cold. I'm always cold, and I'm from up north. It's like I don't think I belong here. Like, oh, it's always so cold.
Hey, so Laurie, we have a brand new person in our chat tonight. It's one of my metal detecting buddies. Theron just joined us for the first time, and he was wondering what the most common item might be that you find in Canada. Is it like Canadian pennies, pull tabs, or
oh wow!
Is there like a common something that you dig, almost every time you go out?
Beer bottle caps. Quebecers love drinking beer or something. I have one beach here that is so lit. I call it Bottle Cap Beach. It's just full of beer bottle caps. So many of those. Lots and lots of pennies. So many pennies. I mean, you can't go anywhere without taking a penny. Pull tabs too. Lots and lots of pull tabs. Probably similar. A lot of iron. But yeah, beer bottle caps. I think beer bottle caps are
Canadian pennies.
And Canadian pennies,
funny.
yeah.
Him and I were digging a little beach the other day along a river, and he did I think it was a Canadian penny that day. So occasionally we do dig some Canadian pennies way down here in South Texas. So.
Oh, I get so excited, and I love hearing Canadian pennies and where they're being dug. It's really neat. It's really neat to see how far, our currency travels and stuff like this. And I remember as a child, I'd often have some American pennies along with my Canadian ones. But I always like to hear how far some of the coins do travel. It's really neat.
Yeah, I find it always fascinating when I find a foreign coin because, you wonder, was it someone traveling or someone that collected? There's just so many different things, like you were talking about earlier. How did that one coin, that rare coin you found, how did it get there? So there's just so many things that run through your mind when you're digging.
I found an early silver from Turkey, I think it was. I think it was a Turkish coin. I found that out in our woods, and it was really bizarre. I couldn't make it out. I was like, what is this? And it took me a while to research it, because what do you do? It's like, okay, silver coins. So I looked at, kind of the silver coins from around the world, and I finally came across the idea, and that was really unique. That was kind of like, how did this one get here? I'm thinking maybe sometimes people had them as a lucky coin in their pocket, or, out of their coin collections and stuff like that. But I love finding foreign coins from different places. Especially here, our currency only started in a lot of our currency started around 1858. We did have bank tokens and stuff earlier than that, from like 1830s and so on. But before our tokens and stuff, most of the coins that we were using here were British, French, American. So we were using a lot of different currency from around the world. So the older sites you get to, the more variety of the places that these coins come from. So since we didn't have really many of ours before the tokens, so I think so between 18 and 20.
How old was the silver rare coin you found? How old did you say that one was?
That one, I think they believe it was minted in 1820-ish. I think it's
wow.
On the coin, wow. Yeah. So it was around 1820s. If I have to look at that. I think it was. I think it has one date. Does it have no? It's around there. Yeah. and they believe it was minted in Montreal as well. There's no one knows who the maker was, and I love that maker. I just think they're really, really kind of cool to make a coin like that. I think it's really, really, really cool. They believe they're from the person who made it was a blacksmith in Montreal, but they still don't know. It's like a mystery on exactly who minted these coins. But this rare, unique coin, I had somebody offer me like $650 right there on the spot. Here you go. And Eric's like, no.
No.
Yeah, because I think it's probably valued twice that. So. But to me, to me, the values don't matter. It's like, really, the values don't matter. It's just,
I'm
this
the
really
same
unique.
way.
Yeah. So usually I don't look at the value of my finds. So
it's not about the monetary value. It's about the history. It's all about the history.
That's it.
That's so exciting. Well, we're about out of time here, so we don't know a lot of people from our chat hop on to another podcast that's on starting right about now. So if you don't mind, tell us where they can find you on, we've got YouTube. I think Amanda just put a link to your YouTube channel in chat. So that is Relic Dirtyhands. And then tell us where else they could find you.
They can find me on Facebook. I have a group called Relic Dirtyhands and Friends. And my name is Laurie Gagne, and I go with my name. I'm also on Instagram. My kids got me onto Instagram. I was clueless about that, but they've been kind of helping me out, and they kind of helped me set it up. I just need to go and take more pictures and stuff and post on there a little more often. But on Instagram, I do have a Twitter account that I totally don't understand either. I'm trying. But really, the main places you'll find me is mostly on Facebook and on my YouTube. But I'm getting more involved in Instagram. And I heard you do TikTok, and that's something my daughter does. And I was like just trying to figure out, how do you do metal detecting with TikTok? So I have to watch your stuff.
I just started, and Amanda, I think Amanda started about the same time as me. Did you? Amanda?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Probably a week or so after you. My sister helped me figure it out.
And Amanda probably knows more than me about it, but what I'm doing is I'm just taking little clips from some of my videos that a lot of them I've already posted, just little clips, because your video isn't going to last over, and then you just pick some music to go with it, and you can type up whatever you want to go, like if it's a date on a coin or relic or whatever, and it's easy. It's way easier than YouTube.
Oh, really?
The hang of it.
I'm definitely going to have to check those out. I'll have to check that out and take a look at that. So, yeah, YouTube is definitely time-consuming.
Yes. It's my kryptonite. No problem videoing. It's editing that is, nope.
Yeah. Oh, for me, I'm just so... I get totally... It took me about 3 days to do one of my adventure videos, and sometimes the tutorials as well. It could be 3 to 5 days, sometimes 7 days if I write a script for my more tutorial type videos and stuff like that. Yeah, but I love it. It's almost as much I love editing as much as I love metal detecting. I never knew that. It just kind of built into that. I started just to share with friends, and then it came into really a passion of editing, and I really absolutely
I wish I had that
passion. Yeah, but then, it gets you stuck onto a computer for long hours. But, yeah. True. Yes. But thank you so much for having me on. It's been a lot of fun, and it actually went by really, really fast.
It goes by fast when we're talking our favorite thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you being on here, and thank you all to all of our listeners tonight and those that joined us in chat. We appreciate all of you. Join us again next week, same time, same bat channel, at 7 p.m. I can't even talk. 7 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. Eastern. Anyway, you all have a great night. Thanks again, Laurie.
You're welcome. Good night, everyone.
Good night, all.
Good night, all. Good night. Great show.